For the past 20 years, the DART Center has been a global networking resource for journalists, educators, and healthcare professionals dedicated to improving media coverage of trauma, conflict, and tragedy. With roots stretching as far back as 1991, what started as a think tank for a small group of journalists has grown into a global exchange of ideas, with branches in several states, as well as Europe, Australia, and parts of Asia. Since 2005, Professor Michael Vadney from St. Cloud State University has incorporated his own chapter of the DART Center into his journalism classes each spring. Vadney's classroom exercises are used as a training tool for aspiring young journalists.
That's my apartment.
Okay, well, you're going to have to stay outside.
But my husband should be there with my dog.
Well, we don't know what's going on. There's an investigation. The firefighters and the police are looking. What we need is for you to try to be calm and wait. You can't go inside that area now. It's against the law. We're going
So what do you know? If you guys are here, you must know something.
We just got here. We're actually coming to you. So, I mean, we understand you weren't in the building, obviously.
No, I was at work. I teach Spanish, but my husband, he should be asleep. So you have to know if he's there. Yeah, he comes home every day at 7 o'clock. He should be asleep. But I don't even know what time it is. But what about my dog is in there? What about my dog?
Well, I mean, the trucks and everything got there 6 minutes after the call, so we don't know the extent of the damage.
But you don't know where my husband is because he should have been there. He should have been asleep.
We don't have any information on that right now.
Well, will you call me as soon as you find something? I can give you my phone number. Will you call me the second you find out?
Yes, we will, of course. And could we call you if we have any other questions or concerns?
Yeah, but I need to find my husband. I need to. He would be in there. He would be asleep.
What the hell happened? Is the fire department even here yet, or?
I think they're on their way. Did you see the building on fire or anything?
Didn't see the building on fire. When I got back, the place was full of smoke. I have not want to be in the paper, okay? I'm not going to be in, or I'm not going to answer any more questions.
Okay.
I won't be in?
No.
Okay.
You've been back in your room since the fire.
No, they won't let me in my room. I just see the smoke billowing out.
So when you got back here,
I just
who wouldn't let you?
Fire department was here. The fire department said I couldn't go in there until they cleared the area. So I haven't been anywhere near my room. I know my stereo's in there. I know my CDs are in there. So you should put that in the paper, and then you should decide in the paper who the hell's going to pay for this when you write your story.
So we can't.
Fire department.
What happened or who did it?
It was a fire.
Do you know how it started and when it started?
This morning. It's in the back of one of the apartments.
So the police said that they had a 911 call at about 8:13 this morning, and they said who called sounded like they said the word deck. Was that you, or do you know who called?
Well, I don't remember, but maybe I called. It was busy. I was running and knocking on doors and.
I'd like to know who's going to pay for it. Is the paper going to pay for it? Fire department going to pay for it? Tell that snippy little bitch over there that she should pay for everything that we lost at our goddamn apartments.
Did you make the phone call?
What phone call?
The phone call about the fire.
That came in at 8:13.
You know, there was a lot of confusion. I could have, but I'm not sure.
We're doing our best here, and everyone here is trying their best to figure out what's going on here.
I'm sure they'll tell you once they finally know something. Is there anything else you can tell us about your apartment that we should know?
My dog. Where's my dog?
I don't know what my mother's going to do. I have no idea what my mother's going to do.
So, does your mother live with you?
My mother lives with what? That means something, so what? I'm 46 years old and I live with my mother.
The workshops are concluded with a Q&A session from the students, as well as advice from Professor Vadney and the actors involved with the training exercises.
All of you probably have some mixed reactions to your own performance. That's okay. We're learning. Some of you can. Walking up to a fire scene 15 or 20 times in my life, I saw all three of these characters in one way or another. And the parts of the lesson were how do you deal with anti-press sentiment, how do you deal with racism, how do you deal with forgetfulness and sad people, how do you deal with somebody who's bordering on hysterical, and most dramatically, what would you do if somebody asked you to help? Like,
how do you deal with someone who doesn't want to talk to the press?
You just have to shrug and go forward. I think the best approach is that, you know, we know we're not perfect.
Deal with the racistness that you had, or somebody who would be like that. It's a good way to deal with that.
There is a time and a place for you to put your feelings on the back shelf. That's not the place to preach to somebody about whether he should be more loving of his brothers and sisters in humankind. You're there to grab a story. I would probably stray away from making the racial references in part of my story. You know, every once in a while you'll see somebody give you an anti-Semitic joke or something while you're in an interview. I mean, it gags me. But you have to step back from that and say, my job is to gather news about a fire. I'll fight that battle another day.
Every year it's my goal to try and make somebody hug me, to try and make somebody cry, and to try and make somebody so uncomfortable that they don't have any more questions. But I had one group, the first group, they were touchy. And that wasn't a problem, but they had the hands on my knee and they were consoling me. Two groups took down my cell phone number to give me a call once they found out something. For the first time, I had somebody tell me to calm down. The last group that had me had the most, got the most information out of me. I don't exactly know how you did it. You let me cry, but you kept going. And you didn't put your arm around me, you didn't do the touchy feely. I like to make people a little bit uncomfortable because you're gonna be uncomfortable if you're sitting there trying to get these answers. And I didn't have anything to give you except for crying and asking you where my poor little dog was. So you guys all did a good job. You all got some piece of information from me, so you did a good job.
You're approaching an individual who is many different things and has some information to give. What you're looking for is specific information as you possibly can get. There are things that I had to tell you if you asked them. And I tried to get you, if you asked a question that skirted that, to a point where you might ask those questions, or at least be suspicious of something that would have to be followed up. And asking somebody for information, assuming a professional demeanor, maintaining, you know, the kind of information that you need, getting names straight and specific, particularly when there are confusing names put together here. At any fire scene, you know, you never know who you might talk to there that might have some investment. And you're acting as an individuals who are milling around there and have some time to mill around to share information, so that each time you come to somebody or get a chance to go back, you might, through somebody else, have a better hold on the information, that you escalate by getting information from other people, by feeling more comfortable in the environment. It makes a realistic, I think, and yet pretty tough exercise, and it makes an exercise in which you see that professionalism in approach and confidence in yourself is really where it's all about.
The dartcenter.org site has got great little tip sheets on it that you can look at on how to interview people who are in trauma.